Hey everyone, Nigel and Luke here, and welcome to another edition of Crimes of the Week International. Before we get to today's video, we're excited to announce that our official Patreon page is now live. Patrons will receive exclusive extended editions of each one of our Crimes of the Week and Crimes of the Week International videos. So if you want even more crime news coverage, head over to patreon.com/crimezone.
This week, representatives from UK's National Crime Agency announced that they had arrested 6 men and seized more than 2 tons of cocaine following a raid on a ship near the city of Plymouth. According to reports, the bust took place on the evening of Thursday, September 9th, about 80 miles off the coast aboard a luxury yacht known as the Kehu. Officials had recently been tipped off about the yacht's illicit contents by Australian federal police, leading the NCA to track the boat as it made its way to the UK from the Caribbean 18 days ago. Authorities estimate the street value of the drugs to be somewhere in the neighborhood of £160 million, or roughly $220 million US. The 6 men on board the yacht at the time of the raid have been identified as 32-year-old Andrew Cole, 49-year-old Billy Downs, 34-year-old Denson White Morales, 40-year-old Edwin Taylor Morgan, 38-year-old Bernie Shogreen, and 42-year-old Ryan Taylor. All of the men are said to be Nicaraguan nationals with the exception of Andrew Cole, who is a British citizen. Each of the men has since been charged with being knowingly concerned in the supply or concealing of a Class A drug.
Authorities in the Thai city of Nonthaburi say that a crime of desperation landed a 17-year-old girl in jail this week when she was caught after the alleged robbery of a gold shop. According to reports, the teenager's problems began when she came across an ad on Instagram for what purported to be a promising online investment opportunity. It was only after she invested the 50,000 baht, or roughly $1,500 US life insurance payment that her family had received from her father's death, that she realized that it was actually a scam, and that she had no way of getting her money back. Around the same time, her mother fell ill and began asking about the money. Feeling that she had few options, the 17-year-old reportedly put on a cap, gloves, and face mask, grabbed a kitchen knife, and headed to a gold shop at the Big C hypermarket just outside of northern Bangkok on September 12th. When she arrived there, she pulled out her weapon and handed over a black bag and a note to the shop's 21-year-old manager. The note read, "Put money and gold in a bag. Don't shout. Your life is yours. There's no need to kill." The manager did as she was told and handed over a number of necklaces and rings worth about 400,000 baht, or roughly $12,000 US. As the 17-year-old ran from the shop, the manager began to shout, successfully getting the attention of a patrolling police officer who grabbed the teenager. The 17-year-old's family apparently had no idea about her intentions, nor her desperate situation. Her grandmother said that when she left the house on Sunday, she told her she was going to the dentist. The teenager was taken to the Central Juvenile and Family Court in Bangkok, but was released after the director of her school submitted 15,000 baht for her bond. The girl's case is reportedly still under investigation, but authorities also say that cybercrime investigators are going to try and take legal action against the people that scammed her. According to reports, if the girl is convicted of her crime, she could be looking at 2 to 5 years in prison and a fine. However, her sentence could also be suspended because she's a juvenile.
Authorities in Nigeria's Kogi state say that they're on the hunt for more than 200 escaped inmates this week after a massive prison break took place at a facility in the city of Kaba. According to reports, the prisoners were freed after heavily armed men attacked the security custodial center, which is located on the main road connecting Kaba and the neighboring city of Lokoja. The attack took place on Sunday, September 12th, when the men blew up the prison's perimeter fence to gain entry. From there, a fierce gun battle ensued, leading to the suspected deaths of at least 2 security officers. At the current time, those deaths have not been confirmed. A total of 240 of the prison's 294 inmates escaped during the attack, many of whom are believed to be fighters for the militant group Boko Haram. At the time of this recording, it's not clear who is behind the incident, though the group is a likely suspect. Those that are regular viewers of our Crimes of the Week International series will know that this is actually the second mass prison break that has taken place in Nigeria this year. In April, more than 1,800 inmates escaped in a similar attack on a facility in Imo State. That attack was blamed on the separatist group, the Indigenous People of Biafra. Authorities say that they are still investigating Sunday's incident and that a handful of the escaped inmates had returned voluntarily since the attack.
Authorities in the Indian state of Maharashtra say that a female police officer has been arrested this week after she allegedly hired 2 men to kill her colleague. According to reports, the case began when 54-year-old police officer Shivaji Sanap was struck by a Tata Nano car on his way to the Panvel railway station on the night of August 15th. Sanap was rushed to the hospital but was pronounced dead on arrival. Though the case initially seemed like a clear-cut hit-and-run, further investigation revealed some things that didn't quite fit. The most suspicious detail was the fact that the nano car was found just a few kilometers away from the scene of the accident. It was completely burnt out, as if someone didn't want to leave any evidence behind. When authorities dug deeper into Sanap's personal life, they found out that there was hostility between him and another officer, 29-year-old Sheetal Pansar. Sometime before his death, Pansar had leveled serious accusations against him, which included allegations of sexual assault. Investigators were able to definitively link Pansar to the case when they found evidence that she had paid 2 men, 18-year-old Vishal Jadev and 21-year-old Ganesh Chavan, to carry out the crime. Each were reportedly paid a sum between 50,000 and 70,000 rupees to drive into Sanap in the car that Pansar had purchased and make it look like an accident. Authorities say that all 3 of the culprits are now in custody. Pansar was arrested on September 9th. Police say that they are still investigating the claims she made against Sanap before his murder.
Authorities in the Argentine capital of Buenos Aires say that 2 thieves are dead this week after they attempted to rob an Uber driver who turned out to be an off-duty cop. According to reports, the incident took place in the early hours of September 13th after the officer had signed into the rideshare app to do some late-night driving. He was in the middle of driving a nurse in the Gonzales Catan neighborhood of the city when things took a terrifying turn. A pair of armed men approached the vehicle and tried to rob the man and his passenger of their belongings. Realizing that they were in serious danger, the officer rolled down his window and shot both men. Though the officer and his passenger were unharmed and even managed to reportedly finish the trip, the same couldn't be said about their would-be robbers. Both men later died as a result of their injuries.
This week, authorities in China's Jiangxi province announced that a 23-year-old man had been arrested after he was found to be hiding the body of a young woman in his suitcase. According to reports, the incident began on the evening of September 7th, when the man, identified only by the last name of Siu, called a taxi. The driver noticed that the man was dragging a large black suitcase behind him and became concerned when he spotted blood on the luggage while he was helping him put it into the trunk. While it's not clear exactly how it took place, at some point, Siu realized that the driver was suspicious of him and exited the vehicle and ran away. The taxi driver called police, who came to the scene and confirmed the driver's fears. There was a woman's body in the suitcase. Thankfully, Siu did not remain on the run for long and was captured after an overnight search following a police appeal for tips from the public. At the time of this recording, few additional details have been reported about Siu or the woman he is suspected to have murdered. The woman's name has not been released, but it is said that she was born in 2002 and was from a city about 250 miles away.
Authorities in South Australia say that a 25-year-old man has been arrested and is facing numerous charges this week after he set a man's car on fire for no apparent reason. According to reports, the incident took place on the afternoon of Sunday, September 12th at Killara Reserve in the Adelaide suburb of Davarin Park. Several people had gathered for a friendly game of soccer when out of nowhere, a man named John Claude noticed a strange man pour gasoline on his $35,000 Holden Commodore and set it on fire. Claude and several of his friends quickly chased the man down and quickly became engaged in a violent altercation with him. The man tried to throw gasoline on Claude and his friends as they chased him, and at one point even reportedly pulled out a knife. Despite this, Claude was able to punch him in the face and restrain him until police could arrive and place him under arrest. The man has since been identified as Lazar Stamenkovich. It is alleged that he was also behind a second incident that took place earlier that day in which he poured gasoline on a car with 4 people inside, including 2 children. However, that time he apparently did not get a chance to light the car on fire. It's unclear how Stamenkovich was able to get away from the scene of the first incident. According to reports, Claude was not seriously injured during the attack, but is still in shock about the whole thing. His car was apparently his most valuable possession, and he had spent a large amount of money and time into working on it. Stamenkovich has now been charged with arson, attempted arson, and 2 counts of assault.
Authorities in the Colombian town of Gaira say that they are investigating the tragic deaths of 6 people this week after they were struck by a speeding truck allegedly driven by a well-known businessman. According to reports, the incident took place in the early hours of September 13th, when a group of 7 young people were walking home after attending a party. That's when they were hit by a pickup truck allegedly being driven by a well-known food entrepreneur named Enrique Vives Caballero. Not only was Caballero reportedly driving at an extremely high speed at the time of the collision, authorities allege that he was also heavily intoxicated. As a result of the high impact, 6 of the 7 people hit by the vehicle were killed. Local media managed to uncover a photo that Caballero had posted just hours before the collision, in which he could be seen next to a friend in what appeared to be a liquor store. Those same outlets say that the businessman had been cited several times for speeding in the past, and had outstanding tickets at the time the tragedy took place. His most recent ticket was issued just 6 days before the accident. In the immediate aftermath of the incident, Caballero was taken to a health clinic to be treated for injuries, but he has since been transferred to a psychiatric facility. Many members of the public were outraged to learn that this transfer had happened despite a judge's order that it not take place, and have called on greater action from police. Though the names and ages of all the victims appear not to have been officially confirmed, it is said that at least 2 of them were minors. Caballero's defense team has remained secretive about his condition since the incident took place. That brings us to the end of this edition of Crimes of the Week International. If you're a fan of the new series, don't forget to tell us in the comment section below. While you're there, make sure to subscribe to Crime Zone for more true crime content like this, making sure to hit the notification bell to stay up to date with our latest videos. Thank you for watching.